Hello, it's number 10 today. That's 30 stories that you will have listened to in the last few weeks. Which one's been your favourite so far? Our first reading today will be Daphne and the Doughnuts, written by Jessie Burton and read by Mrs. Carey.
I'm going to read you a story called Daphne and the Doughnuts. Daphne, an old-fashioned name pronounced Daphne, was a very sensible girl. She ate the crusts off her toast, not just the butter-drenched bits in the middle. She made her bed in the morning, and at night she felt like a letter slipping into a fresh envelope, posting herself to pleasant dreams. She always unlaced her shoes before taking them off. She knew that the sky was blue. She would say to me, "Jessie, you know that ghosts are real, don't you?" I will admit, suggested otherwise. And even though Daphne read stories in which animals talked, monkeys, tigers, lions, parrots, cats, bears, you name it, chattering away, she would declare to me that in real life this was absolutely, categorically impossible. One sunny day, Daphne was walking home with her mother through the park. Her shoes done up tightly, of course, no laces trailing anywhere to trip her up. They had visited the bakery, and Daphne was carrying a box of jam doughnuts. She hadn't even asked if she could have a bite before dinner. That's how sensible Daphne was. When they stopped at the pond to look at the ducks, a very small Yorkshire Terrier trotted up and sat by Daphne's feet. Daphne continued to watch the ducks. "Giz a doughnut," said a voice. Daphne looked around. It sounded like an old man, croaky yet hungry. Where was this old man, his gnarled fingers reaching for her delicious treats? "Oi," said the voice again. "Down here. Giz a doughnut. I'm starving." Daphne peered down. The little dog was sitting expectantly on his haunches, and her words were in the air before she could stop them. "They're for after dinner," she whispered. That's it, she thought. I've gone crazy. I'm talking to a dog. "Just one," the dog whispered back, his beady eyes imploring. "I bet you've got at least 6. Daphne blinked. He was right. She had 6 doughnuts in this box. She looked towards her mum, who was making an appointment on her phone to the family dentist. "You have one too," the dog wheezed. "That'll make it fun." He really wanted a doughnut. He really wanted Daphne to have a doughnut. Daphne opened the box and dropped one by his tiny paws. He snatched it, jam squirting and sugar sprinkling everywhere. Daphne closed her eyes and took one in her jaws too. She stood in the sun with the little dog scoffing a doughnut before dinner. Oh, it was delicious! So perfect, so sweet and warm and soft. Never in the long history of doughnuts had a doughnut tasted better. When she opened her eyes, the dog had disappeared. Daphne checked. 4 doughnuts left. He had been a very persuasive dog. It felt like the sun was setting in her stomach. As her mother ended her call to the dentist, Daphne licked the last grains of sugar off her fingers glinting like diamonds in the light. As I said, Daphne was a very sensible girl.
Next is Mrs. Youssef reading The Golden Visitation by Ed Vare.
Hello there, it's Mrs. Youssef here. I hope you're all well and staying safe. I would just like to read a short story to you from the Book of Hopes, and this one is called The Golden Visitation. Walking up hills does me good, complaining leg muscles warming, reminding me of a different kind of alive. Long views from the top, working out how this land lies, sky, air. On a walk, if I remember, there's a time to sit, quiet, in a field, by a river, on the side of a hill. Somewhere, no one is. When I've sat a while and been quiet a while, that's when I hear and see. Really hear and see. The songs of birds weaving around each other, breaths of wind brushing long grass into silk. A trickle of water rounding a stone. When you are truly still, that's when nature shapes around you. That's when you sense the slightest movement over there in the undergrowth, when you hear the faintest trembling rustle. When in golden evening sun you see emerge a mystical creature who rarely lets himself be seen. Over this low dry stone wall creeps a shy beast, twitching, long-legged, magical, casting a spell over all. Someone wild and free who plays in the sun. Yards from me, he twitches. My breath is held, our curiosity mutual. Both wondering, who is this beast? Then, this hare, all limbs extended. He flies, swift, powerful. A golden visitation gone. I think the same happens with us. If we allow ourselves for a while to be quiet, to allow another chance to approach as their true self. I hope you enjoyed that, and I hope to see you all very soon. Take care.
Our last reading is Jeddi's Attic, written by Aisha Bushby, and it's read by Miss Redman.
Jeddi's attic can travel through time. Don't believe me? I'll prove it. All I have to do is climb up the dusty old ladder and try not to fall as it wobbles, and suddenly I've entered a whole new world. There are boxes filled with jewellery and pieces of furniture and clothes that haven't been worn in years. Most people are afraid of attics because they think they're filled with spiders or ghosts or worse. But the truth is, attics are filled with magic, and only those brave enough to go searching will find it. In case you're wondering, Jeddi means grandfather in Arabic, which reminds me, have you ever heard of a grandfather clock? If you haven't, you can look it up online or even in an encyclopedia. Now that we've cleared that up, have you ever heard of a Jeddi clock? You won't be able to find one online or look it up in a book, because it's a secret. But Jeddi won't mind if I share it. Up in the attic, everything is covered in dust too. I walk over to the Jeddi clock, and on the face, instead of just the time, there's the day, month and year. All I have to do is set it to the day, month and year I want to visit. Then I climb back down the ladder and I've travelled back in time. Today I think I want to go back to the first weekend of spring, where I spent the day baking cookies and dressing up and playing with my pet cat. You might think that's a boring day to pick. After all, I could pick any moment in the history of time. I could pick the summer holidays, or my birthday, or even back when the dinosaurs roamed. But sometimes the very best days are the ones spent at home doing the silliest of things. And right now, that's exactly what I want to do. You can try my Jeddi clock if you like. and we can travel back in time together. I'll even let you decide where we go next.